Tonight, several breaking stories as we come on the air. The deadly school shooting today. Sources tell us it was a female teenager who opened fire. Also, the news tonight on those mysterious drones, what President-elect Trump is now claiming about them. In New York City, the fire tearing through a holiday market. We have the images here, and a new storm. Freezing rain, snow, wind. Lee times it out. First tonight, authorities say a female teenager opened fire at a school in Wisconsin. A teacher and another student killed, several other students wounded, at least 2 in critical condition at this hour. Also tonight, there is news in the mystery drone sightings, 7 states, and now drones reported near an airbase in Ohio, an airport outside New York City, and 2 men now arrested for allegedly flying a drone dangerously close to Boston's Logan Airport, and what President-elect Trump suggested about the drones today. RFK Jr. on the Hill today. Trump's pick to run the Department of Health and Human Services. What RFK Jr. said about vaccines today. Tonight, the major headline involving CEO murder suspect Luigi Mangione, his new attorney now, and what she floated already as a possible defense strategy. The big warm-up, but not for long. Another storm brewing, freezing rain, snow, and wind by midweek. Lee Goldberg has the forecast. Tonight, the images coming in from Syria. Israel launching massive airstrikes. It comes as the mother of kidnapped American journalist Austin Tice pleads with the Prime Minister of Israel to pause the airstrikes so she can find her son, James Longman, in Syria. In New York City tonight, the images, the fire tearing through a holiday market. An American tourist among several people possibly poisoned at a 5-star resort. And our Made in America Christmas is back tonight, from keeping your coffee warm to hand-blown glass. The evergreen trees, 50,000 hand-blown this year. Your ideas pouring in tonight.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. We have news tonight on those drones. Federal authorities with infrared cameras tonight looking for them, and what President-elect Trump suggested about the drones just today. But we begin tonight with the deadly school shooting, this time Madison, Wisconsin. And tonight, sources tell ABC News it was a female teenager who opened fire at the school. It happened at the Abundant Life Christian School, a K-12 private school. A student bringing a gun to school, opening fire, killing a teacher and another student. 6 others injured, 2 students in critical condition at this hour. Tonight, authorities say the shooter took her own life, a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Anguished parents desperate for answers, rushing to look for their children. The Madison police chief tonight saying every person in that school was a victim today, and that this is especially painful given we're just days from Christmas. ABC's Alex Perez leading us off. He's on the scene in Madison, Wisconsin.
Tonight, an anguished community shattered by gun violence after police say a student brought a handgun to the Abundant Life Christian School and opened fire, killing a teacher and another student. Sources tell ABC News the suspect is a female teenaged student.
There have been at least 50 cops. I don't know what is going on.
Sirens wailing in Madison, Wisconsin just before 11 a.m. A sea of flashing lights outside the private K-12 school on the east side of town.
When officers arrived, they found multiple victims suffering from gunshot wounds.
At least 6 others injured. Other schools in the area put on lockdown as police went room by room clearing the school. John Diaz de Leon lives across the street.
Some of the older students were running across the parking lot to the church sanctuary, and then later on, very slowly, in a more orderly fashion, the younger students holding hands were led out to go across the parking lots to the sanctuary.
Britt and Kyle Grange, emotional and grateful their children are okay.
I'm very, very, very thankful. I mean, the gut-wrenching feeling that you feel when you get that notification, you always just hope that never happens, and it happened today.
Police Chief Sean Barnes, a former teacher himself, says the teenage suspect is believed to have died by a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
So close to Christmas, every child, every person in that building is a victim and will be a victim forever. And these types of trauma don't just go away.
And David, the police chief here, says just 2 weeks ago, his department completed active shooter training, lessons that were put to use here. Investigators are now searching for a motive and trying to figure out how that teen suspect got a handgun. David?
Alex Perez leading us off here tonight. Alex, thank you. We turn now to new reporting on these mysterious drone sightings. 7 states now across the Northeast, and now drones reported near an air base in Ohio, an airport outside New York City, and the arrests involving a drone near Boston's Logan Airport. Tonight, the FBI and Homeland Security deploying state-of-the-art drone detection technology and infrared cameras to catch the drones. And tonight, President-elect Donald Trump saying something strange is going on here and what he suggested today about the drones. Here's Whit Johnson.
After weeks of reported drone sightings triggering confusion and anger throughout the Northeast.
This one's going to fly over us right now.
Tonight, the FBI and Department of Homeland Security deploying state-of-the-art drone detection technology and infrared cameras to New York and New Jersey. The spike in unexplained drone sightings seen in at least 7 states from Virginia to New England. In Ohio over the weekend, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base outside Dayton temporarily closing its airspace Friday night because of drone incursions. Just outside New York City, reported drones forcing officials at Stewart International Airport to shut down their runway for more than an hour.
There's multiple drones all over this airport tonight, man.
And in Boston, 2 men arrested and facing charges for flying a drone dangerously close to Logan Airport. The rash of recent sightings fueling bipartisan criticism of the government's response. President-elect Trump saying something strange is going on.
They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. Something strange is going on. They happen to be over Bedminster. They're very close to Bedminster. I think maybe I won't spend the weekend in Bedminster. I've decided to cancel my trip.
There are nearly 800,000 registered drones in the U.S., and it's not illegal to fly them during the day or night. The Biden administration insisting there's no evidence of a national security threat or foreign involvement, saying some reports can be explained as civilian aircraft.
Some of those drone sightings are, in fact, drones. Some are manned aircraft that are commonly mistaken for drones.
Authorities say you can usually verify it in seconds using the Flight Radar 24 app. You can see where most planes are in real time.
It's not just one drone. When there's one, there's many.
That's exactly what we did when we went on patrol with Officer Francesca Escudero of the Clinton Township Police Department in New Jersey.
When the sun goes down, the drones come out.
And it didn't take long before we spotted those hovering lights over a reservoir. In the dark with cloudy skies, we couldn't positively identify exactly what the objects were, but their inconsistent movements did not resemble nearby planes.
From when I've been talking to people, they're frustrated. They just want answers.
And David, the White House is pushing back against those claims by President-elect Trump, an administration spokesperson saying they're not trying to obscure any intel here, insisting that most of the sightings are some combination of hobbyist drones, law enforcement, commercial, as well as civilian aircraft, all operating legally, but they promise to continue pursuing all leads. David?
All right, Whit Johnson tonight with us. Whit, thank you. Tonight, RFK Jr. on the Hill, Donald Trump's pick to run the Department of Health and Human Services, and what RFK Jr. said today about the polio vaccine. Mary Bruce up on the Hill again tonight.
Mr. Kennedy, tonight, one of President-elect Donald Trump's most controversial cabinet picks, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., arriving on Capitol Hill to try and win over the Republican senators who will be key to his confirmation to lead the Department of Health and Human Services.
Mr. Kennedy, do you stand by your comments that vaccines are linked to autism?
Kennedy now forced to defend himself after spending years spreading false theories about vaccines.
There's no vaccine that is, safe and effective.
But most of the vaccines used today have been used safely for decades, credited with saving lives and even eliminating some diseases. Today, Trump was asked what his message is to parents worried Kennedy's views on vaccines will make their kids less safe.
I think he's going to be much less radical than you would think. I think he's got a very open mind, or I wouldn't have put him there. He's going to be very much less radical.
But Kennedy's views facing fresh scrutiny amid reports his personal attorney, who has been helping to interview candidates for top health jobs in the Trump administration, petitioned the FDA to revoke multiple vaccines, including one for polio. Republican leader Mitch McConnell, a polio survivor, issuing a blunt warning, saying efforts to undermine public confidence in proven cures are not just uninformed, they're dangerous. Anyone seeking the Senate's consent to serve in the incoming administration would do well to steer clear of even the appearance of association with such efforts. Kennedy himself has suggested without evidence that the polio vaccine could have potentially deadly side effects.
So if you say to me that the polio vaccine was effective against polio, I'm going to say yes. And if you say to me, did it kill more people, did it cause more deaths than avert, I would say, I don't know, because we don't have the data on that.
But the CDC is clear. The polio vaccine does not cause serious health problems and has saved 1.5 million lives. Today, Kennedy now telling me he's all for the polio vaccine.
Mr. Kennedy, do you believe in the polio vaccine? What do you say to Americans who are worried you're going to take away their vaccines, Mr. Kennedy?
The polio vaccine revoked.
You're all for it?
What about
at Mar-a-Lago, Trump pressed by our Selena Wang.
Thanks, President Trump. What about the polio vaccine?
Well, I'm a big believer in it, and I think everything should be looked at, but I'm a big believer in the polio vaccine.
Kennedy is now doing a flurry of meetings here on the Hill, trying to win over his skeptics, including some Republicans who are also worried about his stance on abortion. But David Kennedy could also win some support across the aisle from Democrats who back his fight against processed foods. David.
Mary Bruce live up on the Hill for us. Mary, thank you. Now to the CEO murder case here in New York. The suspect expected to waive extradition and could be back in New York City in just days now. Tonight, we've learned Luigi Mangione has hired a high-powered New York lawyer, and what she suggested already about a possible defense strategy. Again tonight, Aaron Katursky.
Tonight, with the suspected killer of United Healthcare chief Brian Thompson expected to waive extradition from Pennsylvania, Luigi Mangione is preparing to defend himself against a murder charge in New York. He hired a new lawyer, Karen Friedman-Agnifilo, a former Manhattan prosecutor who floated a potential defense strategy during a recent TV appearance as a legal analyst.
There might be a not guilty by reason of insanity defense that they're going to be thinking about, because the evidence is going to be so overwhelming that he did what he did.
About 2 weeks before the murder, Mangione's mother reported her son missing with San Francisco police. Once his face was flashed around the country on this wanted poster, they called New York. And when investigators spoke to Mangione's mother, she told them the young man in that poster could be her son. He was arrested the next day when he was spotted at a McDonald's. Mangione has become a social media folk hero, alarming police. A threat assessment obtained by ABC News said the narrative supporting Mangione's targeted attack likely served to encourage like-minded individuals. Today, President-elect Trump said he can't believe there are fans of the suspect.
That was a terrible thing. It was cold-blooded, just a cold-blooded, horrible killing. And how people can like this guy is, that's a sickness, actually.
And David, authorities now expect Mangione back here in New York by the end of the week. David.
Aaron Katursky. Aaron, thank you. Next tonight, the heavy rain across the Northeast tonight, in fact, stretching from Texas right up through New England. Then a big warm-up, but it will be quick. Behind it, another storm, rain, snow, and wind by midweek. Chief Meteorologist Lee Goldberg from our station here in New York, WABC, back with us tonight. Hi, Lee.
Hey, David, a nice surge of spring-like warmth sandwiched in between the rounds of rainfall. One of those rounds moving into the Northeast tonight, but it's with a warm front. So temperatures are climbing. No snow with this round, maybe a quarter-inch to a half-inch of rainfall. The good news is it's out of here early and temperatures are already mild. So we'll make a run at 60 from Boston to Philly, maybe even record warmth in D.C. It won't last long. Another storm developing on Wednesday. Rain from Texas, snow into the Great Lakes. That's moving into the Northeast by Wednesday night. That's another soaking, and behind that system, it's an Arctic blast just in time for the start of winter. David?
Coming Wednesday into Thursday, Lee battling the sirens here in New York as well. Lee, thank you. Overseas into Syria tonight, Israel launching massive airstrikes as an American mother now pleads with Israel to hold off in Syria until she can find her son, an American journalist who was kidnapped in Syria. And tonight, ousted President Bashar al-Assad now saying he never intended to leave. Here's our chief international correspondent, James Longman, inside Syria again tonight.
Israel tonight unleashing some of the heaviest airstrikes since the fall of the Assad regime, slamming missile depots and air defenses in Syria's coastal Tartus region. It comes as the mother of American journalist Austin Tice, who was kidnapped near Damascus 12 years ago, is pleading with Prime Minister Netanyahu to pause the strikes and allow crews to search for her son. Deborah Tice saying in a letter her family has credible information Tice may have been held in a prison near an area Israel has bombed.
I'm going to be looking for help anywhere I can. I think it would be polite, to say the least, that perhaps they're not bombing while people are trying to clear the prison.
And tonight, in his first statement since fleeing to Russia, toppled Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad says he never intended to leave and wanted to stay and fight. Assad called the rebels who ousted him terrorists, adding, "I have never sought positions for personal gain," although the fleet of expensive cars and lavish palaces Assad left behind tell a different story. And in a dusty field outside Damascus today, some of the worst discoveries of his tyranny so far. What you're looking at here are bags of human remains that have been found in this field just outside Damascus. Bags of bones, essentially. They have no clue who they belong to. Here, a bone sample is extracted for analysis, one day hopefully to provide a family with closure. And David, tonight the United States says they're not ruling out sending a diplomatic mission here to Damascus to talk with the rebels and help look for Tice. David?
James Longman in Damascus again tonight. James, thank you. Back here in the U.S. in Boston tonight, 2 Iranian men are facing federal charges, one under arrest, after a deadly drone strike killed 3 U.S. soldiers in Jordan nearly a year ago now. The 2 are accused of alleged export violations and providing material support to the Iran-backed radicals who were behind the attack. A drone packed with explosives struck a remote desert outpost in the Jordanian desert last January, when many of those U.S. troops were still asleep. When we come back here on a Monday night in New York City, the horrific images today, the fire erupting at a holiday market, tearing through several businesses, and you'll see it in a moment. Also, an American tourist among several people possibly poisoned at a 5-star resort. And the stowaway passenger on a flight leaving New York City now arrested again tonight, what authorities say she was trying to do. Here in New York City today, a fire tearing through a holiday market, flames jumping from booth to booth, destroying several small businesses in Herald Square, that's near Macy's. Several propane tanks engulfed by the fire, at least 1 firefighter seriously injured. That market stretching for 2 blocks, the cause still not known tonight. This evening, ABC News learning the alleged stowaway, initially arrested for hiding on board a Delta flight from New York to Paris, has now been arrested again. Svetlana Dali was taken into custody in Buffalo today. Sources say she cut off her ankle monitor and was trying to sneak into Canada. She's now due back in court tomorrow. When we come back here tonight, an American tourist among several people who may have been poisoned at a 5-star resort. And our Made in America Christmas is back, from keeping your coffee warm to the evergreen in glass, in a moment. To the Index, authorities say an American tourist is among 7 people treated for suspected alcohol poisoning while at a 5-star resort in Fiji. Sickened while drinking pina coladas at the Warwick Fiji Hotel, all taken to the hospital. Authorities awaiting toxicology results tonight. The hotel conducting a, quote, thorough investigation. When we come back tonight, our great Made in America Christmas, your ideas pouring in. A new list tonight of some last-minute ideas. Finally tonight, our great Made in America Christmas continues.
Tonight, our great Made in America Christmas, 13 years and running, celebrating small businesses creating Made in America gifts and jobs this Christmas.
A little Made in America Christmas. 100%.
Already this December, we've taken you to New Jersey, Virginia, Georgia, Colorado, Missouri, Minnesota, Montana, and California. Tonight, Winter Haven, Florida, east of Tampa, the company Dugout Mugs.
Hey, David, welcome to Dugout Mugs.
Owner Chris Denner.
Dugout mugs are baseball bat barrels hollowed out and turned into probably one of the most awesome drinking mugs on the planet.
The wood from Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Ohio, and New York. 16 workers in all, 900 mugs a day.
As an idea that started in a dugout, in a baseball dugout, almost 9 years ago, it's kind of crazy to see how far we've come.
They've got your favorite team.
We add your favorite Major League Baseball team or custom logos. We're sold in all Major League Baseball stadiums.
Tina wrapping up the mugs, Alexis shipping them out.
Made in America!
Here in New York City tonight, Royal Jelly Harlem aprons.
Hi, David.
Co-owners mother and daughter, Tita and Maya Gorgoni.
We're very proud to say that all of our products are made here in America.
Their latest aprons.
This is the Johnny apron. Here is the pom-pom apron in fun, vibrant colors.
And the leftover fabric, dinner placemats.
In sets of 2, they are quilted and really fun.
Cocktail napkins too.
They have a beautiful contrast colored trim.
4 workers, 500 aprons a week.
Happy holidays, bye!
In Quechee, Vermont, south of the capital, Simon Pierce hand-blown glass. 300 workers in all, more than 80 glass blowers and potters. That's John Trumpka.
Hi, David.
3 years on the job. Andrea making their Shoreham whiskey glasses. Joe making their wine glasses, adding the stem. Brayton making their glass ornaments. And Hobby engraving Believe. These are their signature glass evergreen trees, hand-making more than 50,000 trees this year alone, all with those 3 words in mind.
Made in America! Well, you know we love Made in America. More ideas tomorrow night. We'll keep going. Good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.